So how do you overcome stage fright? Let's talk about that. Hey, I am Will from Thunderhawk Coaching here today, and something I wanted to talk about that I think would be of use to a lot of people is how do you overcome stage fright? So, just so we're on the same page, stage fright is the anxious experience of going in front of a group of people, however many, and being very scared. Freezing up, clamming up. You may have experienced this yourself. You feel spooked. You feel very scared. You don't know what to say. Your mind goes blank. So I'm going to talk about a bit of the systems here related to this, and then we're going to talk about what you can do about it. Okay? So first of all, we need to understand why you even feel like this. Okay? So when you give presentations, when you stand up in front of the group, the thing that you're risking in that immediate moment is your kind of tribal reputation. This is how I'm going to define this, right? So you stand up in front of people, you're kind of saying, I'm going to be kind of seen, and I'm assuming people are going to judge me. And I'm assuming, again, it's going to be negative, right? Because I'm unsure about what I'm going to say, what I'm going to do, how it's going to go down. So what happens in your body is when you feel anxious, you feel anxious because it's your brain trying to project and protect itself in a future sense. So the anxious mind is trying to look forward and tense your body up for the perceived challenge coming ahead. But often this mechanism goes into overdrive if you're very scared, if you've had some kind of traumatic events occur in and around being on the stage, that can have your anxious systems go into overdrive, which will pump a couple really fun chemicals in your body really high, like adrenaline and cortisol. You may have heard of those before. Cortisol is the stress hormone, so your body will be experiencing a lot of stress, right? What happens when you experience stress? Your body focuses all your energy into your body, into your extremities, right? Glucose does not need to go to the brain, okay? There's a part of your body, a part of your mind called the limbic system. And the limbic system, in it has the amygdala and hippocampus. And all of that part of your brain basically is where your fight or flight is. It's where your unga bunga brain is that wants you to survive, right? So when you're full of cortisol, you're really stressed, your brain wants your body to just react and get out the way of the threat. That's very natural. It's, when we look back at ancient cave people did not need to sing in front of a lion. They needed to get the hell away from a lion. So it makes perfect sense that when you stand up on a stage and you feel threatened by the idea of your tribe leaving you, if they leave you, you will no longer have access to collective resources. You will no longer have access to food. You will no longer have access to shelter and protection from other threats. So essentially getting up and messing up a presentation biologically activates us in a way that makes us feel like we're going to die, right? I don't know if you've ever been so anxious that you feel like you might perish, but part of that is to prepare your body for an extreme circumstance where you feel like your reputation may be harmed to the point where you will be ousted and your safety and security as an individual is severely threatened. So it makes sense to feel anxious about that. That's okay to be spooked. So what do you do about it? I think something really important to have happen here, and this is not something that everyone can do, but I wish people would do this and could do this. I think you really need to be allowed to mess up and fail and be seen as silly or not the ultimate serious situation, being up in front of a crowd, right? So a lot of us have expectations we assume other people have of us when we're performing, right? So we get up on a stage and we think maybe we have to be happy or funny or smart or clever. No, you don't need any of that. You don't need any of that. And the tighter and more constricting this idea of what you should be on the stage is, the more likely you are to freeze up, because your kind of area of operation of how you can be, how you can express yourself is so small that you can't be who you are. You can't mess up. You can't make a mistake. You have to be a very specific way, right? You have to be a specific way. That's like being stuck with the spear pointed at the lion. That's how our body treats it. So you first of all need to accept you will make mistakes. As somebody who likes to play music, performs them on stage sometimes, nobody really cares about the mistakes most of the time. People more take away the emotional takeaways, as long as the big notes land, the little notes don't matter too much, okay? So your reaction to the mistakes is what people will react off of, right? So be aware of that when you're thinking about how you're going to respond to mistakes on stage, because how we respond to mistakes often is more indicative, actually shows and is more celebrated in a lot of ways, but not super clearly, right? Our ability to navigate mistakes in the moment really speaks positively to people subconsciously. So messing up is okay, messing up is okay on stage. Something else that I really like to recommend to a lot of my clients is, before you go on stage, the last thing you want to do is be thinking about going on stage. Don't try and force yourself to think about something else. What you need to do is you need to get something physical. So something I use is I have these guitar plectrums, and they have a different groove in the middle as they do on the outside. So what I do is I focus a lot on the change of the texture. And something you might notice when you do this is, and it could be with anything, by the way. It could be with a credit card. It could be with a wallet. It could be with your phone. So my phone has like different textures on the back. So there's like a scratchy bit there and a soft bit there. It doesn't matter what it is. The change in textures, if you can focus on that and focus your mind there, okay, your brain won't be able to think about all that could go wrong, and then all of a sudden you're doing, because what actually happens and leads to being so anxious and being full of stage fright is your brain being given enough space to generate all of the worst case scenarios that then your body physiologically reacts to, pumps more cortisol in. Oh, this could happen. Oh no, cortisol goes up. This could happen. Oh no, this goes up. Cortisol, this could happen. Oh no, this goes up. And stress happens and builds and builds and builds. And then when there's so much stress, our logical brain shuts down. So that we can't say anything coherent and smart. We just go, blah, 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 blah. And then we look dumb, and then we feel shame, and then that compounds the stress even more, and then we panic and run, right? You may have seen it before. You may have experienced it before. But having something to ground yourself in physically, could be your breath, could be an item. You need to focus your attention on something really specific, because the more stimulation you can get into your head, the more focus you can get onto something else, the less energy your anxious mind can take and catastrophize with. So please find your thing. My thing is the guitar pick, and the breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. That's how I do it. That's because it activates the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system, with the alternate nostril breathing. But that's where I'm going to leave it today. How to overcome stage fright. In summary, know why your body's doing what it's doing. Make mistakes. Find an object to anchor yourself on and have a community where you feel safe to fail. I've been Will, you've been wonderful. Take care of yourself and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.